Jonah is not around, and yeah, the next best candidate to do the show. Okay, is it because I've never been to the BBC? Yes. But I'll have you know, I've actually been to the BBC website to search for the news. Don't they call me the father of the nation? I have 15 kids.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So didn't you see that the recording in progress?
I did. But
So that's how you guys do. You're literally looking for something bad that will just happen. Hello, welcome to Zambia. What a day. My name is Chimweka Chileshe, and I'm sitting in for Dinginda Jonah Buyoya, who I honestly don't even know where he is. Where is he? I haven't seen him like in 2 days.
don't ask my boss questions.
Oh, so you have no idea where he is? Okay, all right. You know, it was so interesting how the producers of the show got me to do the show. This were literally their words. Jonah is not around, and yeah, the next best candidate to do the show. And I'm like, is this supposed to be like a good thing or a bad thing? What is that supposed to mean? What does that mean? Like what? I don't. What does that mean?
I don't know. It depends.
The next best candidate. Okay.
Do you think Jonah is good at his job? It depends.
It means what?
Do you think Jonah is good at his job?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
It's a good thing.
Plus, it's like, next. Okay, it's like what is this? Some sort of pageant? What do you mean next best candidate? Like it's some modeling competition? Like okay, so the next best candidate. Okay, is it because I've never been to the BBC?
Yes.
But I'll have you know, I've actually been to the BBC website to search for the news, and it was pretty informative. But speaking of the news, let's get into what's making news in the country. A bit of some sad stories if you're a business owner or you're getting into business and then you're hearing some of these things. When they tell you about risks and some of the issues that happen, things that happen if you want to get into business, these are some of them. We'll be talking about police cordoning off Society Business Park. So this was a big story after NAPSA announced the closure of the Society Business Park. But not only that, Lusaka City Council also went in for illegal structures. And some of these structures include what were supposed to be shops. And this for me is a bit of a personal story because one of the shop owners is a very close friend of mine. One of my closest friends was about to open a shop. And he took me around the place like, oh, look, this is what we're doing. And now this morning, I got told. I just received the call this morning, and I was told about it. And next thing, it's in our news. So we'll talk about that. But also getting to Eastern Province, hunger-stricken Katete residents failing to access FRA sold maize, I guess. We'll be talking more about that on Zambia. What a day! What a day it has been. All right. In fact, a couple of days, I don't know if that's correct English, from Society Business Park. The news around NAPSA closing down Society Business Park really was a big one. And there have been different sentiments that have come through from various members of the public. Why are they only deciding to close it now? Why are they only giving 10 days notice when it's not the first time that concerns have come through regarding this particular business park? From way as far back as 2019. This issue came up. The Engineering Institute of Zambia actually even raised concern. And even when this has come up, they're talking about it again, saying, well, we said it. We said it a couple years ago. It wasn't, nothing was done. The building was still there. People were still operating. It was business as usual. And then one day, NAPSA come to and say, okay, yeah, you know what? We need to we need to close this thing now. Like, this is urgent. We need to save lives. And yeah, everybody needs to please leave in 10 days. So shop owners have started vacating the place, moving their property. And what was interesting is that there was one shop owner who only found out like yesterday. He just found out yesterday. He just went there, I guess, trying to do his business. And he's being told, yeah, so you actually need to move. And I'm thinking, where were his workers? How come his workers never told? Where was he the whole time? But let's take a look at this report that we did. Prudence Trotter has been on the story.
Following the announcement made by the National Pension Schemes Authority NAPSA on Tuesday that it has with immediate effect closed the Society Business Park, located in the central business district of Lusaka, due to structural failure of some columns. Security has moved in to seal the entrance to the business park, allowing only the tenants to move their merchandise. This is despite the plea made by some shop owners that they be given more time to sell their goods before they can be made to move out.
They are saying that they are that report in July. So maybe that time they should have informed us in July to say, oh, this is a new development which is there. So I'm sure by now we would have prepared ourselves. That's the only concern which is there. Otherwise, we are concerned about our safety.
Not happy because we're renting the shops, I have the workers, and there's no another way to I will ship my shop the other place.
A check by Diamond News found that most shops have already closed, while merchandise were being taken to other storage facilities as the owners look for alternative trading spaces. Meanwhile, some customers like Abe Omusonda are shocked to learn of the closure of the facility, which he has come to learn about only today. The Engineering Institute of Zambia says it had recommended to NAPSA in 2019 that the facility was not safe and has supported NAPSA's decision to have it closed. For now, we will continue to monitor how the development will unfold and whether NAPSA will move in to demolish the columns that have collapsed. Prudence Chota for Diamond News.
Yeah, so you can sympathize with a number of shop owners. Of course, some of them didn't want to be seen in the screen. Like, hey, we're not TV people. All we do is on shops that are also can get closed down, like is the case now. But very, very sad for those who were even mentioning that, look, let us at least get rid of the stock, then we move. We still have things here that we're trying to get out. And let's be fair, let's be very honest. During this particular time, it's not easy for business people. It's a very, very tough time for business people. The economy is not favorable. It's not desirable, to be honest. But now you're hearing this news that you need to go somewhere else. And I know how business people work. It's tough out there where even just finding space at a mall for you to pay the rentals there and so much is really a lot that gets to be involved. And you can sympathize with the number of shop owners. But you know who I'm also sympathizing with? Not only the shop owners, and I was saying this on radio, I'm not just sympathizing with the shop owners, but I'm also sympathizing with all those who used to use Cairo Road as a shortcut. They're trying to get to Chachacha, so they would use Society Business Park as a way to just pass through. Yeah, now you need to go the actual route. You need to go the right way instead of just trespassing at the business park to go to the other side. You have to use the correct way. But on a very serious note, it's I know it must be a headache for a number of businesses. I also have a friend who has a store there, a phone shop, and hey, he used to love his store there because it's in town, and it's like town is a business hub. So he's got other stores, but he used to love his town one. Like, you'd go to the other ones thinking you'll find him. They'll tell you, no, it's at the one in town. That was like his favorite. It's like a favorite child, Parents always say, no, they don't have favorite children, but you can always see that, here, there's something that this one is the favorite. And for him, it was clearly that one. And sad that he has to vacate there, and for all the business people out there. So NAPSA, I guess, they've got a lot of explaining to do, and people would want to get answers as to why this is coming now, despite even the EIZ speaking about it as early as 2019. All right, so from one shop, or from one group of shop owners, to what were supposed to be upcoming or new shop owners in this is in Kaunda Square. But what's funny about this is that it's in Kaunda Square, but the people who live around there don't want to call it Kaunda Square. They've got all sorts of names for it. They call it. Have you ever heard of a place called Casanova? Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know where Casanova is? Yes. So that's what they call it there. That's what some of the people call it there. So I don't even know if this is the actual name, Kaunda Square, because I've some friends. You know, I feel like I've got friends in everything now. It just sounds like I've a friend who lives this side. It's like today, Zambia What a Day is just about my friends. All my friends are just involved in everything. So there's a place called Casanova. It's just off the chicken, the hybrid roundabout. So if you go down that road, just near like the Paddy Blues. So like I think the side where there's Paddy Blues and the other businesses, that's like, yeah, Kaunda Square. But the other side, they say it's called Casanova. I always wonder why would you name a place Casanova? Like I wonder who is to live there for them to say, you know what, we're going to call this place Casanova. Like I really wonder who is to live there. But so the place is just right next to that. It's a car wash. There's a very famous car wash. It's called Kamtu's. Sometimes I also go there to have a car wash, and there's a car wash nearby as well, which is owned by my friend. And I'm not joking about this. This is for real. It's not. It's those who've been there know. What's that?
Same friend or a different friend?
No, this is a different friend.
Chimweka, you do really know a lot of people. And a lot of your friends are in businesses.
It's like today is just about my friends. Like all my friends are involved in one way or another in this story. Like it's just now getting very personal. Yeah, so that's how I knew about Casanova, because I would ask, what do you call this area? No, this is Casanova. Okay, that's when I knew about it. But this other friend of mine, who has a shop, one day he took me around the place. He says, look, I'm about to have a store here. And he told me what he was about to do. He's like, look, I think this place is missing this, and I want to bring this and that. I said, this is amazing. This is brilliant. I love it for you, man. This is really good. And we're looking forward to that store opening. Then this morning, my other friend who lives in that area sends me some pictures and says, can you believe this? We just woke up to this in the area where the shops have been demolished. And he tells me like, and I hear that the last president is the owner of this. I'm like, that's quite ironic. So the last president, who's a illegal practitioner, allegedly established illegal structures. Like, how ironic is that? And yeah, so it was demolished, and I just thought, okay, it's one of those things. Until seeing it in our news, but he's not. But he didn't speak. There was another shop owner who spoke with us as Diamond, and this is part of what he had to say.
In the early hours of the morning in Lusaka's Kaunda Square Stage 1, the Lusaka City Council carried out a surprise demolition at a complex of 10 shops, alleging the structures were illegally constructed. Martin Musonda, the constructor of the complex, expressed his disbelief over the sudden destruction. Among those affected is Lamek Kalangwiri, a tenant who had invested nearly 110,000 kwacha and has expressed deep frustration over the sudden loss of his investment, questioning the legality and timing of the demolition.
Ibintu bamene baononga ni vambiri matauzi yanasila masiringi banasiriza twezoembekeza che kuti manje basegule che penti vonse inambiwa ku mamene maonera mukati banambo penti tuziwa kwa mene yachokera ichanchikwaine nankalapo pano almost 4 months 4 months kulibe wa council anabula poleta chipepa chili chonso kwa ati hivi tuzapwanya tulishani siniziba na kwa mene yambira kapena ba boss banabapasa siniziba.
So I received some sad news this morning to say the shops they've been demolished. So I don't know the genesis of everything. I'm sure the owner of the complex can elaborate more on that. Like for me, inclusive of rentals, it's close to 110 or so. I think government in Gatuyanganeko, especially for my youths, because we're trying by all means so that at least we can have something going on instead of us depending on governments to help us.
Meanwhile, the LCC Assistant Public Relations Officer, Nyambe Bulumba, confirmed that the demolition was executed with the assistance of the Zambia police. Bulumba stated the property owner had been served with the notice but failed to comply, leading the council's decisive action.
From the enforcement notice that was given to the owner of the shops to bring them down, and the owner did not adhere to the notice, and this prompted the council through the council police and indeed the state police to move in and demolish these said shops. The reason behind the demolition is that the shops were illegally built and without the planning permission of the council through its city planning department that is responsible for that. We would like to call upon members of the public to ensure that they always engage the council whenever they want to come up with structures everywhere in the city. And this is for their own benefit, because by so doing, we are avoiding issues of having these demolitions.
Nicole Namwinga, Diamond News.
So the public relations officer there from Lusaka City Council had to weigh in as well on this, and talking about planning, the Lusaka City being properly planned. Do you think Lusaka City was properly planned? So I'm asking George. So George is like, I think you think people know George. If they watch this, they know George. A long time ago, you think it was. Yeah.
Did you hear that story?
Building a house in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Behind somewhere there.
You must be really cheeky for you to build a house in the middle of the road. Like, people use this road and you're like, man, I have no house. I need to put a house here now. What are you guys going to tell me? You just go around. It's like now telling the people who used to use Society Business Park from Cairo to Chachacha, like, go like that. That's what you're telling people. Like, I'm building a house on this road so you can just... Like, okay, that's imagine driving to a place and then now it's like, I used to use this road all the time and then now there's a house. Why is there a house in the middle of this road? So money has been lost here, and that's the unfortunate part here. We heard from Lamek Kalangwire, who talked about him investing close to 110,000 kwacha in preparation for his shops opening. And we also heard from the constructor there who was saying, well, he didn't know about this. He's been there for 4 months. And he didn't get any notice. It says maybe his boss knew, but he didn't know. I guess maybe the constructor also tried to call his boss, but he was not picking up. Because even when we tried to call him as Diamond, he was not picking up. So, this was very unfortunate for... the tenants there, people who are ready. And I believe those, even people around there where we are anticipating this opening in different services being opened. And it's a young person. That's what's sad about this. It's a young person who, trying to do something for himself, and then you have something like this happen. And I'm looking forward to finding out what they will do next. Are they going to sue the last president? That should be something like this. That should be a lot, huh? You're gonna sue the last president for that? Like, what's going to happen? And also, even the Lusaka City Council, them doing this, they say they issued these, they were serving these notices, but they were not getting response, so they had to do it. And it's interesting how they do it. They do it like in the night, like at 01:02, but which is quite ironic because that area they rarely sleep. Those guys. On a Tuesday, you should pass through that area on a Tuesday.
Like Thursday going this side, yeah.
So because it was like a Monday, Tuesday, so that's why.
Tuesday, like,
Yeah, because those guys, like I've passed through that area like late night, and it's like I'm wondering like what time do this? I always ask that friend of mine like, how do you even manage to sleep because there's so much going on over here. But very sad and unfortunate story for what's happening what happened rather for the shop owners here who get to be affected in the long run from Lusaka's Cordon Square area. All right, let's get to this story from the Eastern Province, coming through from Samuel Kwawe. All right, so it talks about the 2023-2024 farming season, which brought nothing but despair to the residents of Chinkobe area in Katete district as drought ravaged crops, leaving many households without food. You can tell from how I'm reading this that I'm definitely not a newscaster. So Peter Peary tells, let me try to read like a newscaster, eh? Peter Peary tells Diamond News that families are selling their livestock to survive, a desperate measure to make ends meet. The government has intervened with community maize sales through the Food Reserve Agency at 330 kwacha per bag to cushion the hunger situation. However, this intervention is not reaching the most vulnerable. due to the cost. Samuel Kwawe explores more in this report.
In the 2023-2024 farming season, drought ravaged crops, leaving many households with no food. In the Chinkombe area of Katete district, many residents are struggling with hunger. Food insecurity has hit hard, with many families struggling to make ends meet. Due to drought, we never even ate fresh maize. All the crops were damaged in March. Right now, we don't know what the next day holds in terms of food. We will die of hunger. The government has intervened with community sales through the Food Reserve Agency FRA, selling maize at 330 kwacha to cushion the hunger situation. However, this intervention is not really helping farmers due to the cost involved in traveling to Katete to deposit money and the time taken to distribute. FRA intervention is good, but the process is long. For us, the government must ensure more maize is taken to the people. We can't afford to travel long distances. Relief is also not regularly seen. We have suffered a lot. Others are selling their livestock to survive, a desperate measure to make ends meet. Yes, FRA is selling maize, but it is a mountain to climb. When you buy a bag, you don't know when the next opportunity will come. We have finished our domestic animals to find food. We don't know what will happen by December and early next year, he says. The situation is dire, but with the right interventions, hope can be restored. Samuel Sylvester Kwawe, Diamond News, Eastern Zambia.
Getting back to the story here of the farming season and how it's affected so many people. We know that the government, through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, have also been trying their best to offer relief to the affected areas, the affected districts across the country, and we have quite a number of them, over 80 if I'm not mistaken, that have been affected by this. But you get to listen to some of their lamentations. They say the government has intervened with community maize sales through the Food Reserve Agency at 330 kwacha per bag to cushion the hunger. But they're saying this intervention is not reaching the most vulnerable due to the cost. So you have the people it's supposed to reach to who are not getting it. And this is where sometimes the problem gets with so many things, where whether it's supposed to be information, it's supposed to be resources, it's targeted to reach certain people, but if it's not reaching there, then it almost defeats the purpose. Especially that the people that are expecting this are the most vulnerable. The most vulnerable are supposed to receive this, and they're not, is where the problem comes in. And we heard from those lamentations from residents within that particular area. So now they're selling their livestock to survive. I mean, you can even see the livestock there also. I mean, you can see the cattle there trying to survive. You can see how they're drinking the water off the tap. Like, okay, little do they know that they're about to be sold. For people like Mr. Piri, who was spoken to in that story, just trying to survive. And even just them trying to get that maize, you also get a picture of how people in the rural areas move some of these things like maize. I was looking at that Corolla and like how packed it was with the maize in the boot. It made me think of, there's a Bobby song where it's like when I very 10 muri one Corolla. And was it 12? Not 10, 12. But
Have you seen the Kasumbalesa pictures about bicycles and what they do?
What do they do with the bicycles?
Bro, like a bicycle can carry more than a Hilux.
A bicycle can carry more than a Hilux?
Yeah. In Kasumbalesa.
What bicycle is this?
Like a bicycle, bro. They don't even ride it, they just like push and it has a lot of stuff on it.
A bicycle carrying more than a Hilux? That's not possible. That's
The
just...
bicycle only carry like 1 ton. I can guarantee you the bicycle carries
Is this what happens here? You guys just tell each other lies. How can you tell me a bicycle carrying more than a Hilux?
Because of Malaysia is different, bro.
How? So where do they put some things on their head? What do they do?
No, they like make wood to like so you have like stuff from here to like there on a bicycle. Like more than 2 meters on a bicycle.
Oh, Justin is here. He's come to disturb our. Yeah, no, come through. Come and sit here.
So sorry, guys.
Yeah. So didn't you see that the recording in progress?
I did, but
So Justin is from reading the news.
yeah.
So why did you just ignore the recording in progress
You know
that
what?
was right at that door?
I didn't even think about it. I didn't even see it. I just walked in. In fact, George saw me walking in. He should have stopped me. I look. I can't even see. I'm literally wearing glasses. It's terrible. My eyesight is terrible.
Did you see the story of you know that area very well, the Counter Square? Oh, it's Andrew.
But I know it very well.
You know the
Yeah.
the car wash. So you know that the car wash I go to, I actually meet Justin's brother a lot there. I meet Justin's brother almost all the time. All the time I'm going to see. I know for a fact I'll meet him there. I don't know. It's like he's got shares there. Who knows? Maybe he even owned one of those shops that was demolished. But what did you think about that story? Because I mean, you're familiar with that area.
You know, it's unfortunate for those people. And one of the things that has been highlighted is that a notice was given, but these people didn't even see any notice whatsoever. But the council says a notice was given to these people, and I just
And the owner is apparently the last president.
yeah, it's very interesting, Mr. Lungisani Zulu.
I wonder if he's going to Lungisa the, damaged property there for his tenants. All right, Justin, thanks for disturbing us. That was your punishment for interrupting our session, which was about to end anyway. Don't want to do this for too long. I've got kids to see. All right, I'm hoping Jonah is back tomorrow so that he carries on with this. But again, I don't trust Jonah. Last time he did something like this, he made me do the whole show. Like he's like, okay, fine, it's gonna be a show now. I'm like, yay! I'm so happy about this. So please let him know that I did a bad job, so that I don't have to come back. Yeah. All right, I have to go. Bye. Oh, Zambia, what a day.